I'm honestly grateful to live in a family with loving and caring parents. They've done a lot for me. They sacrificed their energy for me, they hardly disciplined me, probably because I didn't need it, and they let me be free to do my own things. Except for the bad things. There's a line to that point that shouldn't be crossed. Even with no restrictive boundaries, I came up pretty well for myself. Makes me wonder how all the bad people in life came to be. But even though my parents let me somewhat grow to like my own self as a person, they have a lot of faults and traits that I simply don't like about them. Although I have noticed that the way that they interacted with me as I grew older made me understand how my parents viewed me, back when I was still so young and the development in myself went up. I can't blame them for still treating me like a child that I was years ago, only to realize that it won't be like that anymore. But I'm not going to get into the perspective of my parents' point of view. We're going to get into the perspective of mine, and I'll mainly focus on their flaws, because they're way more interesting and might even be common. I just wanted to say my parents are awesome. I would never think negatively of them because they're good. But that doesn't mean that they're perfect in every way, shape, and form. I can't say that, because it's not true. You see, the level of expectations you'd have to get from Asian parents are higher. I thought that it would be something that my parents would enforce on me, but it turns out that they highly encourage it over and over and over again until I come to the conclusion of, my parents are always right. I never had rules in their household, but their only hope for me was good grades. Every time I get a low mark on an assignment or test, you know for sure that they're going to be upfront with it. Ethan, you got a C on your physics test. You gotta study harder next time. Ethan, your GPA went down by 0.07%. You need to focus on the next assignment to catch up. I know, I get it. I totally butchered that test, and I do not want that piece of crap shoved in my face. I already feel pretty bummed out that my GPA is below 90, so I don't want to hear it. The problem is, my parents sometimes expect too much from me. Just because I'm Asian doesn't mean I can't fail. But this doesn't just lead to homework and tests, it also ties into the possibility of my future career. My parents have high standards for what possible jobs I could have in the future. There's a number of them my parents suggested: doctor, architect, engineer, mathematician, or teacher. My parents encourage me a lot into certain jobs that I can invest in, based on my strengths and the subjects I'm doing the best at. And it gets pretty overwhelming, because with the more options I get, the harder it is to choose what I want. For once, being good at a lot of things is bad. You know, now that I think about it, the perspectives between my mom and dad are totally different. Take back to what I said about getting low marks on tests and assignments. I hear that a lot more from my dad. I feel like my relationship between my mom and dad go down different paths, because the way I see it, I have a way friendlier connection with my mom, unlike my dad. I feel like not a lot of people are like this, which is why I think that people would find it disturbingly uncomfortable how I'm able to casually have conversations with my mom that people would normally have with their friends. I'm actually really close with my mom. I talk to her like we're best friends, and I honestly feel really lucky to feel this kind of way with my mom. It's really hard to find someone to feel comfortable enough to have deep conversations with. I guess family would be the exception, but still. I could never have the chance to say things like that with people who won't take it seriously, so I appreciate that the most about my mom. But my relationship with my dad is completely different. It's a lot harder to feel close enough with my dad the same way. My dad is a lot more serious, and he'll really take out his anger and disappointment on me if he's in a bad mood. You do not want to be there if he's in a bad mood. My dad is very easy to frustrate, and sometimes he'll take what I say too seriously. I tend to crack jokes to my mom here and there, and most of the time she doesn't get it. But my dad shows disapproval even when I don't truly mean it, and if I somehow push my dad past his temper, that is the worst thing that will ever happen to me. One time, a few years ago, we were driving home after watching a movie, and my dad asked me a question relating to the movie we just watched, and my idiot self said in a sarcastic tone, "What, is this a quiz now?" And do you know how my dad reacted to that? Anger. Pure anger. That was my dad's last straw. He was yelling at me. He even tried to hit me from behind his seat. It was bad enough because my mom intervened to calm him down. That was terrifying. But things like angering and upsetting my dad happens more than once. And trust me, I do not do this on purpose to annoy him. It just happens. Other stories about annoying my dad is that if I think too negatively about something, it's going to cause a lecture that lasts at least half an hour. I can ramble a lot, which causes me to start talking about something that completely doesn't relate to before. And I'm pretty sure I got that from my dad. Whenever he starts teaching me something, he gets into a cycle of repeating the same things again, and since this has happened so many times, I already know what he's going to say, and it's just really sad. I'm scared to admit this, but I'm honestly afraid of my dad at times. If you ever meet him in real life, he's very friendly, but he only acts a lot more serious when he's with me. It's so weird to see my dad so talkative and chipper when he would never act like that around me. That's why I'm glad to have my mom instead. Actually, I should just be glad to have parents. I'll always know this. Regardless of how serious, frustrated, upset my parents, especially my dad, can be, I know that they truly love me.